If Dochi's anxiety reads like your national anthem, you are in the right place. Because anxiety is not randomness, it's not weakness, and it's definitely not irrational. Anxiety is the moment that your awareness leaves your body. It is fearing the past while anticipating the future. It's disconnecting completely from the present and abandoning your body because something inside doesn't feel safe. Anxiety is just the absence of presence. Welcome to Emotional Alchemy. Welcome to the Pontificated, the side of the interwebs where we bridge the gaps between science and spirituality, merging mind, body, and soul. I'm your host, Rain, Usui Reiki Master, energy healer, acupressurist, licensed cosmetologist, Reiki infused press on nail artist, and overall occult enthusiast. So, anxiety was my first emotion that I ever truly became aware of. And I only became aware of it because it was swallowing everything else around me for years. And if I'm really honest, decades. I was on medication for anxiety. And yes, it did mute the anxiety, but it also muted me. I couldn't feel sadness anymore. I didn't feel joy. I couldn't feel fear. I didn't feel excitement. But most importantly, I had lost all touch with feeling my intuition. Part of the beauty of being a deep feeler and a deep healer and a deep thinker is you have this depth of emotional value to you until you're living in a grayscale when that's taken away. I was watching my life like that Adam Sandler remote movie where I was there, but I wasn't fully immersed. My body was present, but my mind and my soul were anywhere but there. So I made the decision that if anxiety was going to run my nervous system, I was going to decode it like a pattern, understand its language, and meet it as a messenger instead of an enemy. I'm going to lead this section with a disclaimer. I'm going to tell you what I did, but I'm going to advise you highly against it, especially if you have severe medical problems. I probably should have taken my own advice, but I also was listening to my intuition. I was listening to my higher self. I was listening to God. But I went cold turkey on all my medication. I had been on blood pressure medication, medication for tachycardia, which is another heart issue. I was on a medication for anxiety specifically, and then a medication for depression specifically. One day I just woke up and my body was like, everything in me, everything around me was like, stop this shit now, all of it. And so I did because I was scared. It was such a profound experience for me. But what I noticed when I came off the medication is I actually started to feel things again. Anxiety shows up when your body is overwhelmed, but the mind still believes it must stay in control. So you split, essentially, is what happens. You leave your body mentally, you go into the past looking for evidence, and you go into the future looking for danger. But you never land in the present moment, and that's the only place where our power actually lies, is here and in the present. Anxiety lives in our upper body, the chest, the diaphragm, the solar plexus, the throat. It feels like tightness, buzzing, spiraling, heat, pressure, trapped breath. This becomes an unexpressed energy, a survival loop that your body is trying to complete, but your mind keeps interrupting the completion of the process. We're going to talk about how we can complete that process today and start adapting to different habits that promote balance, that promote presence. Let's do a few somatic practices through acupressure together in real time. Our first acupressure point is called pericardium 6, which is known as the intergate. It's located 3 finger widths below the wrist, and it's in the center. It's like the wrist crease. This point releases emotional congestion around the heart. Some of the benefits is it calms anxiety and panic. It softens chest tightness, releases the diaphragm, eases nausea from stress, opens emotional flow. It signals to the vagus nerve to stand down so your system can return to safety. Now remember, for every acupressure point, you're going to hold them for 30 to 60 seconds using light pressure, tapping, or slow circular soft motions. And remember, what we do to one side, we will always do to the other side. Next is going to be Heart 7, also known as the Spirit Gate. And for those parents out there, yeah, 6-7, 6-7. Okay, I had to. I had to. All right, so we're going to locate our wrist. And on, like, you're going to follow the pinky all the way down. And so right where the wrist ends and the pinky connects to the hand, that is Heart 7. So the benefits is it reduces agitation and restlessness. I love this spot. Calms spiraling thoughts. Supports emotional grounding and helps with insomnia from overthinking. It stabilizes your spirit and brings your awareness back into your body. Yin Tang, the third eye point, located between the eyebrows. This point quiets the mental noise anxiety feeds us. Some of the benefits is eases racing thoughts, reduces tension and worry, and helps with overanalyzing. It also helps us to deepen our clarity. It shifts your brain into a calmer, more grounded wave state. And last but not least, we weren't going to get done with this without K27, the ultimate reset button. So located below the collarbone, the beginning of the collarbone, on both sides. Some of the benefits of K27 is it restores deep breathing, reduces fear-based tension, improves oxygen flow, reconnects the mind-body communication. Anxiety often shuts off this point. Reactivating turns the entire energetic grid back on. This is one of the most powerful spots, if not the most powerful spot, for nervous system reset on the entire body. And again, we're going to do it every single episode because I feel it's that beneficial. Add these points to your toolkit. And every time you feel anxiety, bring yourself back to presence. You become a better alchemist. You get stuck in less cycles. The quicker that you can take anxiety out of the equation and become fully present in your environment. It's like to be present. You begin to take anxiety in a whole different perspective. A lot of times anxiety shows up in places that don't serve us. And instead of sensing the environment, we internalize the reaction. We shrink, we dim, we limit our expression because the room can't hold us. But presence reveals a different truth. Presence teaches us how people, places, and conversations feel inside of your body because you're fully present in there. Does this place make me want to run or disappear? Does this person tighten my chest like I'm bracing for an impact? Does the environment make you want to fold into something smaller? These sensations are overreactions. They are data. Real-time nervous system intelligence telling you this doesn't support your expansion. And when we avoid the body, we avoid that intelligence. We avoid the clarity that could have protected us and redirected us or evolved us. Presence is your internal compass. Presence is how your body whispers, this is safe, or this is not for you. So you see how it's all used as a tool once you understand where your anxiety is coming from. So up next, we're going to grab our journals as per usual. Gotta love a good journaling moment. Gotta love a good conversation with ourselves to really get down to the brass tacks. So if you haven't worked with your anxiety, I'm going to give you a few questions that will kind of help you discover where it's coming from. What emotion is hiding beneath the anxiety? And that's going to give you the next layer to your emotional alchemy. But first, understand anxiety. What evidence do I have that I am safe right now? Because a lot of times we have to literally tell ourselves it is safe, especially if you've lived in abusive, toxic, chaotic, absent environments. What unmet need is anxiety signaling? What part of me feels unsupported or seen? I would suggest doing these questions. Just ask yourself these questions. Write down whatever comes up first. Do not edit these personal conversations with yourself. This is where the true gems lie. This is where the shadows are lifted to the light, and we bring awareness, healing, compassion, and grace to ourselves through this process. So after you've sat with these questions on getting to the root of where the anxiety stems from and why it's happening, let's start talking to it. So on one page, we're gonna, dear anxiety, what are you trying to protect me from? What stories are repeating that no longer serve me? And let it flow. When did you first learn you had to be on high alert? Once you've got all that out, remember we write until we feel a change within the body. Because at that point, you've gotten the emotional expression out. Now the only thing is to unlearn the somatic behavior. And that's where the next page comes in. Dear Presence. And you can just write Dear Presence, but I'm going to read this and just start thinking about it. And as we finish, you can start writing. Show me what it feels like to live in my body again. Help me see what is real instead of what is imagined. Anchor me into the truth of now. Remind me that my breath is a safe place. Teach me how to return to myself gently, consistently, and without judgment. Guide me into a life where my nervous system feels supported and grounded. Let me show up fully, not in fear, not in projection, but in full awareness. This is the roadmap that bridges the gap between the separation and the alchemy of anxious, controlling, constricting, to being present, using it as a tool, expanding. Presence isn't something that we chase. It's something we return to. It's that quiet homecoming when your nervous system is finally settled and relaxed. If today helped you shift from anxious to anchored, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, as your engagement helps the next like-minded soul find the content to help them along their journey. If you would like to book a Reiki session, explore my crystal infused oils, shop the Spirit Claws, get you a custom set. The link is going to be in the bio. I will see you next Wednesday at 11:11, where we take control and finally learn how to surrender. I love you. Have a beautiful day on purpose. Remember to live and love out loud.